Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your SPDR-ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Thursday. We're at the 16th of November, 2023. You know, tomorrow's the 17th, and it is option expiration on a number of stocks. So is that going to be bullish or bearish becomes a big question. The market's had a big run-up. What does that do? Do people that are the wrong way in the markets do short covering of sorts because there's option writers out there? I don't know. But we will find out, but be aware of that because it should have an impact on the market. Today was just one of these fascinating days. Walmart comes out and Walmart says, okay, we see a slowdown taking place end of October, so they lower their guidance. Would you think that would drop the stock 8%? I don't recall an 8% drop in Walmart. So it really took the market, but that was the only one. The market as a whole fought a good battle. You basically were unchanged. If you look SPY up a half a point, you were down a quarter of a point, and DIA, QQQ up 33 cents. I mean, you're not really moving much. And I'm not surprised to see the small caps getting hit again. They're not embedded. The other stocks are. So where is this going to carry it? That becomes one question. The other thing, you know, we keep hearing from OPEC and we heard from the IEA, the two big energy organizations, how oil's going to be tight. Yeah, $4 a barrel, the market fell today. $4, that's a big break under any type of circumstance, a huge break. So something's not jiving here. I don't know what it is. The government's going to love the fact that energy prices are coming down because that'll translate to gasoline and everything else. Walmart is saying things are slowing. If things are slowing, interest rates are probably no reason to really jack them up anymore. So is the bad news good news? I don't know, but that's what you got to ask yourself. When you come to Home Depot, will we fill the gap is the big question that I have right through here. That is the question that I want to know. Normally, you try to fill gaps. You don't just do this and not try to fill them. You've got a pattern of a lower low, higher high. It's not really a trend. It's a vertical price rise. And you're in a lot of resistance. I teach that the first challenge, when you haven't been there in a while, of a 200 and or the 100-day averages, that's a big resistance area. And then if you add to it the Bollinger Band, which are right there, it's hard to want to be a buyer and say the market's just going to slice through everything and keep going. I can't join that camp. When I look at momentum, the market's overbought. So what I'm viewing here is an uptrend market overall, because prices have gone up, not giving you the clean pattern. You have a lower low, higher high. You're in resistance areas and you're overbought. I'll let somebody else want to pick that up. Rivian, you had an outside day yesterday. We should take a look at this. Here we go. You had an outside day up yesterday, and today you come in and you take out that low. So what does that often mean? It means it was a bull trap. And unless you go back through Wednesday's high immediately, the odds favor you could go back down and challenge the Bollinger Band. It's a strange chart pattern. In the gasoline fund, look at how this keeps coming down. Now, the Fed and the CPI numbers that we just had this recently, what did they say? You know, it seems to me it was so long ago to get those numbers. It was right around the corner just a couple of days ago. Wow. It's going even lower. Well, that will set up what this market's going to want to look at again in a month or so. When we look at XLF, it has stayed embedded. On breaks, the market should be supported. I hate, and you've heard me say this, telling clients to come in and buy over these averages after you haven't been at them in a while. Does that mean I could be left behind? Well, let's use present tense. I have been left behind, all right? The market has got this pattern and it's over it, but generally you can do better than chasing it at those prices. Same in the industrial sector. Here you are up to the 100-day average and the Bollinger Band. In the past, if you were saying, oh, I'm going to bet against it, well, on the first break to it, it fought and at least tried to, do you see that? It tried to hang in there. I then get where the market fought, and even though it broke, it came up and it fought battles at this number for a while. That's what I'm trying to make a point of. Doesn't have to stop on a dime, but you're in a zone that you got to ask, what should I do? Certainly on pullbacks, I'm interested in looking, is that going to be support in the market on XLI? But this chart's bullish. Me not wanting to necessarily come and tell my clients to buy it doesn't mean it's not bullish. It's bullish because this rules the day. And until that red line closes under 79, pullbacks in this market likely get bought. Here's Walmart. Look at how this just came unglued. That's a huge break, 8%. You don't get chart action like that anywhere else. Wow. It had an embedded reading. It lost everything in one day. If it gets short, the longs have to bail. If there's margin in this tonight, be careful. You can go back to the 200-day average. That would be a trigger that it could do. Huge gap in the chart. Did it really change their whole business model? Because that's just such a big move. I went in and checked to be certain that my chart action wasn't wrong. In RSPD, so the consumer is still strong. We see that. But again, I would not tell my clients to buy the first challenge of a 200, 100-day into a Bollinger Band and say, throw everything I teach out. It's just going to keep going. No, it is embedded. Take a look. This just happened today. So both numbers were over 80 today, over 80 yesterday, over 80 the day before, but not the day before. So you just got this. I'd love to get a good drop in the market, keep it embedded. But if it starts dropping and it loses the red line at going to 79, I think you'll go back to the 46 level, almost $1.80 lower. So be careful here. In XHB, the home builders. So there's big short positions in Polte, KB, and some of the others. I was reading a story about it today, and with the option expiration tomorrow, it'll be very exciting in those. What is going to happen? On breaks, I expect to see support. Again, maybe the 200-day becomes it. Obviously, we all see what's happened in interest rates, and that's behind this whole move. Going to be interesting. Would I tell you to buy it up here just blindly? I would not. It is embedded. Until the red line's under 79, I am in the bull camp. The question is where to come in. I'll do my best in the morning subscriber video to cover that tomorrow. In the energy sector, look, you're just coming down. Didn't OPEC just come out and say, boy, it's going to be very tight. The market's going to be shy 3 million barrels a day come next year, which is right around the corner. Yet we're going down. We haven't been at these levels, friends, in a very long time. This is with the war in Israel going on. This is with a market that's got lower interest rates now, and we just keep coming down in this market. Again, I'm going to warn you, scary. Bad news could be bull news in certain marks. Bad news, if Walmart and other companies are right, the consumer is now pulling back and they're seeing that more and more, and we start dropping away in these markets. That's one part of it. It'll drop interest rates, but is it good for the economy as a whole? The drop in the rates are, but we're scared. What today's prompted some of this? The wobble, the increase that we saw in jobless numbers, both continuing and on the week. Those were the numbers that set this off in part. They weren't down dramatically, up dramatically at all, but they're not dropping. So the market's putting pieces together and it's running with what it's saying. In gold, I like gold on the long side. I think you're going to see traders now come back in at 183. They might want to keep stops under yesterday's lows and see what it can do. I don't think you're coming out of this anytime soon. I think it's trying to establish a sideways action, but you could get that pop to the 186.30 level. In the silver market, remember what I told you, this was the unwinding, massive unwinding of silver gold positions, I think, and that carried the silver market rather dramatically. And in copper, backing off again. Now, I just read about one of the big developers, court-ordered sale of all their property from the Hong Kong courts in China, Shenzhen province. They couldn't sell any of the property. There's no bidders. This is not good news. This is bad news. China's got real serious issues there. I read about home sales, even with them saying we're going to throw helicopter money and do other things. They're not going up. So people are scared. They're not buying into the government story yet that the government's got their back on housing, come in and do this, and we'll help you out with it. And if prices fall, the one thing I've seen in the Chinese investor is they know how to run away from a deal. And they'll run away from these deals. They'll go, where's the bottom? Where's the bottom? I don't think I should be buying my home yet. That feeds on itself and makes the situation worse. So it's up to the government to get support in there. And every time I read one of these deals where you can't, at a distress sale, by a court-ordered bankruptcy, and they can't sell the property, big problems. TLT, still pointing the way up, overbought, not embedded. Embedded, I get even more bullish on it. UUP, the dollar, you're now riding that lower Bollinger Band. Remember, this was that day of the CPI report, and now we've gotten through that report, and you can see just what's going on as the market is just saying, well, that was a game changer, and it's not getting away from there. It's very oversold. It's very hard to get short against the Bollinger Band. I certainly don't teach it. I don't teach that you buy against it, and I don't teach that you get short against it on the downside. No way. FXE. Well, if the dollar's weak, this is going to be strong. How strong is the question? Is it going to be? I don't like buying that first. I don't like having my clients to buy, and I certainly don't like personally buying the first move over an average you haven't been at in a while. Within days, it often comes back to burn you, and you go, I knew I shouldn't do that. I just know I shouldn't have done that, and away you go. But that's what my offers are about, because everything you're seeing here has one theme in it, everything, trading discipline. And trading discipline's everything. I mean, if you're going to be consistently wrong, you have a technique that's great. You do understand that. If you can just write down what you're doing wrong every time and keep that up, just place a buy order where you'd have a sell order, you'd have a winner. You have a great technique. Unfortunately, most of you trade off your hunch, your gut, your stomach, and it's inevitably wrong. This is how you want to do it. You want to get some of these parts to this. You want to learn the market letters. You want to learn the indicators the way we do it. As you click each one, you'll come in here, be asked to fill this out. You go in, you fill out the form, and once you do that, we'll send everything to you. It generally comes the next business day. So if you do it over a weekend, it would be on a Monday. So take a look. Enjoy what we have to give you there. It's going to be interesting. Remember, the markets are starting to adjust now for next week, which will be the Thanksgiving weekend. A lot of traders will leave early, take off the rest of the week, and won't return until a week from, say, Wednesday, or a week from Tuesday, because Thanksgiving is going to be a break in everything. I'm already seeing it in my brokers, and I'm going to go out of town for a day or so. So everybody does that, and that's how it works. However, unlike everybody, I travel with my computer, and I can do everything but be in my studio. All my subscribers will get information I could even do, as you learned when I was in Florida, put out, without me in them, these end-of-the-day wrap-ups. Again, our free offers, move your cursor to the top here. If you see that, give it a click. Otherwise, IraEpstein.com on the top left, free offers. I'll see you tomorrow.